Okay, and filing a complaint for conspiracy against rights under the color of law. Okay, everybody's wondering what to say or whatever, and I tried to use the simplest form. Somebody asked me if I could put it in 500 words or less. This is the best I could do, okay? So this is what you'll want to say. You're going to start the title off, A Conspiracy Against Rights Under the Color of Law. The judge failed to report my counsel for ineffective assistance of counsel, the prosecutor for prosecutorial misconduct, and themselves for judicial misconduct. The prosecutor failed to report the judge for judicial misconduct, my counsel for ineffective assistance of counsel, and themselves for prosecutorial misconduct. My counsel failed to report the judge for judicial misconduct, the prosecutor for prosecutorial misconduct, and themselves for ineffective assistance of counsel. Reporting misconduct is mandatory in both the Rules of Professional Conduct and the Code of Judicial Conduct. Failure to report is misconduct, just as well as failure to enforce one's constitutional duties as prescribed in the rules and the codes. The lack of the requirements of the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is beyond unethical. The lack of effective assistance of counsel doesn't allow for a fair trial, which shows due process didn't exist. A deprivation of rights in its entirety. It clearly shows the judge and attorneys in my case committed a conspiracy against rights under the color of law, which prohibits the willful deprivation of rights, privileges, or immunities under the color of law. There are no immunities for operating under the color of law. Prohibits conspiracies to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in free exercise of enjoyment of any right or privilege secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States. I trust you will live up to your oath. Now I'm throwing some rules from the Rules of Professional Conduct in here because these are lawyers, okay? See, I'm just throwing a bunch of laws at them. People used to laugh because they used to think they didn't know I was talking legal talk. Okay, I trust you will live up to the oath and show competence, diligence in expediting litigation, as I have meritorious claims and contentions. So I strongly stress reporting misconduct and maintaining the integrity of the profession. I trust communications will be made for ethical violations, and every penalty will be imposed. In the public interest, as trustees, this is how to maintain the public trust. Failure to do so would add to this conspiracy against rights under the color of law. Okay, and I'll redo the same thing for if it's not a criminal trial. It'll just say for the opposing party, But I just got to change one of the rules. Okay, and that's for the prosecutor to the opposing party. Okay, and look, too. Check this out. So you could throw that on a post-conviction. You could throw that on a habeas corpus. Oh, I put that there twice. You can put that on United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. I think that's a list of all the civil rights divisions, in the government agencies. Somebody asked me how many are there. I said I forgot, but just look up government agencies with civil rights divisions, and that's what you get. Here it is. Oh, and government agencies with ethics commissions. So people, file everywhere and anywhere possible, okay? I don't want you to just take one route. I want you to take every route. And remember, you can also file, I've been at this a long time with these knuckleheads. And this is after I've already been at it with them for over 10 years. But anyways, You can also file against the attorneys involved in the case with the Attorney Registration in Illinois, it's the Attorney Registration Disciplinary Commission. But just Google the rules of professional conduct, and whatever state you're in, it'll come up. And then Google the rules of professional conduct complaint form, and that'll basically be your opening statement, okay? And also Google the Code of Judicial Conduct and the Code of Judicial Conduct complaint form, and that'll be your opening statement there as well, okay? Pretty good opening statement, and throwing a whole bunch of laws at them from quite a different few posts I made, okay? And that's what I was trying to do to encourage you. No matter what courtroom you're in, what I pose to you, not everything can be used in every court, but you could use all that stuff in every court, especially when it comes to the rules of professional conduct and the Code of Judicial Conduct. Those are universal in every court. They are the key common denominator in every court, no matter what court you're in. State, federal, criminal, civil, family court, probate, guardianship, it doesn't matter, even in immigration court. The U.S. Constitution says everybody that appears before a court. Anytime anybody's charged, with any kind of crime, and you have to be charged for a crime too, And then due process requires a charge being made and then going through the judicial system. But the whole thing wrong with the judicial system is nobody plays by the rules or the codes, thus giving you a conspiracy against rights under the color of law. See? So nobody plays by the rules or the codes. That's why I don't need to hear your story. You need to hear what you can do to change what happened to you and be the hero in your own story, okay? So start with this. It's pretty simple. Throwing a bunch of laws at them. Letting them know, all your public servants are literally involved in this conspiracy against rights under the color of law. At least when it comes to the judicial system. As far as politicians, not all of them are lawyers. Not all of them have a law degree. But the ones that don't have plausible deniability, but the ones that do have a law degree, they know this just as much as I do. And legally, if you go through the rules of professional conduct, the preamble, it describes how they're supposed to educate you about laws and defend you as if it was their own life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness at stake. State's attorney, they are not there to prosecute, but to see that justice is served. And it's just as much their duty as your lawyer's duty to see to it that you have due process. You receive a fair trial, a quick and speedy trial, and they always violate that. And if you don't demand all these rights, all these things I've been telling you about when you walk into a court of law, it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to play by the rules or the codes if you don't walk in there and tell them, hey, let's play by the book. Let's do this by the book. Word for word, to the letter, as required by the letter of the law. Defying the letter of the law, violating the letter of the law also has its penalties. Criminal penalties. So there are a lot of laws I talk to you about, just trying to help you out, all right? I don't want you to go what I've been through. And I've been through a lot, through many different courts. And I've been told many times I was stupid for what I was doing, and nobody was there to tell me how stupid I was when I won. Except for my dad. He didn't tell me I was stupid. He just didn't live long enough to see me beat the SSA to get my SSDI. He'd have been proud. Then he was proud when I got the lawyers to drop the suit against me and him. Using the rules and the codes, of course. I'm going to tell you about those stories eventually. Me and my dad used to have some good times talking about the law. He would always ask me, did you learn anything new? We'd be talk about it. All right, people. Pretty simplistic statement. Let me know what you think, okay? Pretty simplistic. So let me know what you think, and then I'm gonna, post this everywhere. You have a good night. May your Creator always be with you, and may as many blessings upon you as He has me, and that's what I call knowledge. Knowledge not shared is wasted. So wasted. I hope you can believe in you as much as I do, because when it comes to humankind, we were created by the Almighty to evolve. Strengthen your mind. Nothing but love for you. Good night.